Sometimes the first coaching session begins not with a question, but with a sigh. That's how it began with Michael. He sat across from me, eyes heavy, shoulders slightly slumped, voice quiet but tight. And then came the words that opened so many sessions like this. Paul, I just don't know anymore. Everything feels like it's falling apart. That is where our story and our arc begins. Part 1. The Coaching Moment. I took a slow breath, allowing silence to soften the air between us. Michael, I said gently, when you say everything feels like it's falling apart, what's the one thing that feels hardest to hold on to right now? He thought for a moment. His voice trembled slightly, and as he said, control. I feel like I'm watching my own life from a distance. Work's uncertain, my health's unpredictable, my confidence gone. I'm just floating. I nodded slowly. I hear that. It sounds like you're standing in a place where everything familiar has loosened its grip. Tell me, how do you usually respond when things start to feel uncertain? He gave a small, bitter laugh. I tighten up. I make plans. I try to fix everything, but none of it is working anymore. And that, beloved listener, is the doorway. When the old strategies stop working, the soul is signaling readiness for a new level of awareness. So I invited him into an exercise. Before we look for answers, I said, let's look for breath. Close your eyes, feel your feet on the floor. Notice the ground beneath them, the earth still holding you. Let the thought, I don't know, be present, but let it float. Just breathe. After a few breaths, his shoulders softened, his energy shifted from scattered to centered. That's when I offered the first mirror. Michael, maybe what's falling away right now isn't your life. It's your resistance to letting life support you differently. He exhaled, visibly relieved, as if someone had finally named what his spirit had been whispering all along. Part 2. The Coaching Reflection, your teaching commentary. Here's the first principle in coaching through uncertainty. Meet the energy before the story. Before you dive into details, before you search for solutions, feel the vibration your client is bringing into the room. Michael's words were about control, but his energy was about fear of dissolution. So rather than coaching the symptom, control, we addressed the state, fear. I used breath and silence as the first tools because safety isn't built through logic, it's built through presence. Only once the nervous system relaxes can awareness emerge. As coaches, we often think our role is to create clarity, but in truth, our first job is to create stability. Only then can clarity rise naturally from the stillness we help facilitate. Part 3. The Vibrational Lesson. Uncertainty is the universe's way of dismantling false safety. When everything familiar falls away, it's not punishment, it's purification. At a vibrational level, life is saying you can no longer build your peace on things that shift. And so it takes them, not out of cruelty, but out of compassion. It takes the job, the rhythm, the validation, so that your sense of self can finally return to its original, your own beingness. That's what I want you and every coach listening to remember. The role of the guide is not to restore the old ground, but to help someone discover the one within. Part 4, the expanding exercise I call Rebuilding Inner Ground. Whether you're a coach, a seeker, or someone simply trying to breathe through change, take a few minutes today for this guided practice. First, pause and breathe. Close your eyes and say aloud, even when everything familiar falls away, I remain. 2. Identify the anchor. Ask yourself, what truth about me does not change? No matter what shifts around me, write down your answer. 3. Energetic scan. Place your hand on your heart. Notice where you're gripping inside. A thought, a plan, a fear. With every breath, release that grip a little more. And 4, affirmation. Whisper, the unfamiliar is not my enemy, it is my invitation. This is Vibrational Coaching, the moment you turn uncertainty from chaos into curriculum. Part 5. Closing transmission. As our session came to a close, I looked at Michael and said, "You don't need to rush to rebuild what's fallen. Let's first rebuild your relationship with yourself." He smiled faintly, the first genuine smile of the day. And as he left, I could feel it, that subtle hum of remembrance returning. Not clarity yet, but calm. Not direction yet, but faith. That's how transformation begins. So to everyone listening, if everything familiar is falling away right now, take heart. You're not losing your life. You are losing the illusion that life had to be controlled to be safe. Trust the unseen. That's where the real foundation lies.